This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Well, good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday morning. I'm Tim Gordon. This morning on Sunrise, shining a light on a safety issue. Why neighbors say they're being left in the dark when it comes to these changes at their local park. Plus, a driver's plea to a thief who stole her car while she was recovering in the hospital. But before we get to all that, let's check in with Chris McGinnis, who's here for our Saturday forecast. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Happy Saturday to
You
you,
too.
and you and you and you and you. Thank you all for watching this morning. We are waking up to, a dark morning, obviously, with the time change last weekend. Now, sunrise not until about 7:20, but I do expect to see some sunshine in the forecast. In fact, today should be another really nice day. We are off to a relatively mild start. 42 last check at PDX. It's 36 in Sherwood, though, 37 in Salem. So there are some cool pockets as you get away from Portland, of course. And as we hop over the Cascades, a little chillier on that side of the state as well. Bend right now at 32. Burns waking up to 19, the cold spot on the map so far. All right, as we look at the satellite imagery, we did have some high, thin clouds kind of work their way through the area late yesterday afternoon. Those are on the way out. We've got a little gap before our next weather maker rolls in. That is offshore. That will bring rain tomorrow. But today we're going to sandwich in one more day of some sunshine. So with that in mind, our day planner for Saturday looks really, really nice. I've got us in the upper 50s by lunchtime. Clouds increase late in the day, but not before temperatures once again get into the mid 60s. Should be a really, really nice afternoon. Tim?
It's been nice. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Well, new this morning, a chaotic night in downtown Portland. Patrol officers heard gunshots, then responded to West Burnside near 4th Avenue just before 2 a.m., not far from Dante's nightclub. One man there had been shot and had critical injuries. While that investigation was going on, officers heard more gunshots a few blocks away. It looks like there had been a shooting there, but so far there's no indication of any victims from that second round of gunfire. Well, neighbors are upset over changes at several Portland parks. The city is removing hundreds of light poles after an inspection showed that they were potentially hazardous. But as Catherine Cook reports, many are more concerned over losing the lights' safety benefits while waiting for replacements.
Look around Selwood Park, and you might notice something in this picture is missing.
And I'm like, I bet there were lampposts there before, and now they're gone.
The city removed 17 of the park's 23 lampposts, putting these orange cones in their place.
And I don't know why, but that's a bummer.
Signs around the park explain the city's light pole safety project. Portland Parks and Rec recently inspected 1,000 light poles. Some of them were more than 100 years old. They found that 243 of them across 12 parks were structurally unsound and had to be removed. Nearly all of the parks on the list are in southeast Portland. That includes Mount Tabor. 81 of its 216 light poles will also be removed and replaced. The city estimates the project will cost $15 million, but right now they only have $5 million slated to cover it. So while all the lights are coming out now, it's unclear when funding will be available to replace them.
And if there's no lights in the park, then I would feel like I couldn't come to the park even at dusk. You know, it wouldn't feel safe for me. I feel like that's even a bigger public safety issue than whatever happened that caused this to happen in the first place.
The light pole project follows legal action taken against the city. As first reported by the Willamette Week, an attorney sent the city a tort claim last summer. It alleged that the plaintiff was injured after laying in a hammock tied to a cement lamppost and a tree in Irving Park. The claim says the post broke, falling on the plaintiff. With that in mind, some park users understand what the city is doing.
It is annoying to not have light when it's dark out, but even one catastrophic mishap is really catastrophic, and that's probably what the city is trying to balance.
The Friends of Mount Tabor Park sent the mayor this letter, asking the city to slow the light pole removals on the grounds of safety and historic preservation. KGW asked Portland Parks why they couldn't just repair the light poles in question. A park spokesperson told us their team evaluated that option and it was not recommended. They added, to properly address safety issues with anchoring would also require addressing the poles and their foundations.
I mean, I feel like it's a little excessive.
It's a tough one for many park goers left in the dark.
If they had hung it between two trees and the branch fell, are they going to cut down the whole tree? No, of course not. Well, maybe they would. I don't know.
Catherine Cook reporting there. Well, the Parks Bureau plans to have park rangers prioritize visiting the affected parks at night. They also plan to close parks with diminished lighting early at 10 p.m. Well, this was the scene last night in Gresham, a candlelight vigil as people rallied in hopes of saving Legacy Medical's Mount Hood Family Birth Center. Legacy previously announced it was closing the facility with its final day yesterday. Hospital leaders say it's due to low volume of births, coupled with a high-cost care model that required round-the-clock staffing. But before that can officially happen, the hospital needs to be granted a waiver from the state. The Oregon Health Authority says they got a request from Legacy Health regarding Mount Hood's birth center earlier this month, but they have not granted that waiver yet. Regardless, those at last night's vigil say they're not backing down.
All of the nurses are here tonight in support, in honor of, and in hope that Legacy will change their mind and make a better choice.
Well, the state also pointed out there could be consequences should Legacy close that birth center without a waiver. OHA says as of now, its approval is still pending. Well, we now know the name of the homicide victim whose body was found in southeast Portland on Monday. Police say 38-year-old Brian Vigil was shot and killed. He was found lying dead in the street just after 3:30 Monday morning. A large section of the Hazelwood neighborhood was closed around southeast 141st Avenue from Harrison to Division for several hours during that event. So far, police haven't made any arrests or identified a suspect. Well, frustration for a Washington County woman. She said she was laid up recovering from surgery. Somebody was stealing her car. This happened at OHSU's Center for Health and Healing. And as Mike Benner reports, is part of the rising trend of car thefts in Portland.
Who steals from a hospital?
It's a question that's been eating away at Ashley Sturge, at least since earlier this week, when the 30-year-old Washington County woman was at OHSU's Center for Health and Healing, recovering from surgery. Ashley says her husband parked the couple's car in the garage below the South Waterfront building.
I'm disabled, so we're at hospitals all the time, and I've never once thought that my car was in danger when I parked there.
Boy, was Ashley wrong. Sometime between Tuesday evening and Wednesday morning, somebody stole her Kia Sorento, similar to the one you see here. Devastation washed over Ashley, but that's not all.
It was more of just like, because I had literally just spoken to my doctors about the possibility of going home that day. And so that immediately jumped to like, well, how am I going to get home? Or how am I going to get to any of my follow-up appointments?
While it won't make her feel any better, Ashley is not alone, not by a long shot. Last year in Portland, more than 10,800 vehicles were stolen. That's up from approximately 9,000 in 2021 and 6,400 in 2020. These statistics put Portland near the top nationally when it comes to car thefts per 100,000 residents.
It's greatly impacting our community.
Lieutenant Norman Staples works out of the Portland Police Bureau's East Precinct. He plays a major role in the Bureau's stolen vehicle missions that are making a difference. In fact, during a recent operation, officers recovered 8 stolen cars and made more than a dozen arrests.
We've had conversations with the district attorney himself and multiple senior DAs to address the prosecution aspect. And what we've done is we've started to develop a process to ensure that these cases, these stolen car cases, get prosecuted and that the suspects that we arrest are indicted for those crimes.
If anybody hopes the effort pays off, it's Ashley Sturge, who's putting her effort into locating her stolen car.
I just kind of hope it's still at least usable. The idea of going through and trying to buy another car sounds like a nightmare.
I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
And car thefts aren't just an issue in Portland. We'll look at the national trends coming up in our next half hour. Well, still to come on Sunrise, a record-setting economic boost is coming for Portland. The big convention that's coming to the Rose City, bringing millions of dollars with it. And did you know that you can watch Sunrise anytime you want on KGW Plus? Well, you can. All of our news, in fact, is on Roku and Amazon Fire. Just look for KGW, add us to your home screen, and stream Sunrise on your schedule. We'll be right back.